the front page. I'm Lembit Opik and welcome to Press Release here on Press TV, where we find the facts, kill the spin and tell it like it is about the stories making the headlines. This week we'll be looking at events from all around the world and sorting out the reality from the rubbish. First, a roundup of the week's news with the tales that cause more questions than answers. I'll take a look at the Brexit dream that's become a nightmare for the British Parliament.
No, it doesn't!
Meanwhile, America's bad temper is making its enemies into good friends with each other.
Are you worried?
That's enough. That's
Mr.
enough.
President, I was going to ask one of the other folks.
That's enough.
Pardon me, ma'am. Mr. President.
That's enough.
And we take a look at the next great destination for the world's tourists, Iran. What a week. What wildness. What a world. Let's get down to the details and separate the political friction from the political fiction. Until a few years ago, nobody had heard of Brexit. Now everybody's heard of it, but no one seems to know what it means. During the 2015 general election, when David Cameron was British Prime Minister, he promised a vote about Britain's membership of the European Union. He won the election and then lost the referendum. Bye-bye, Cameron. Next, new Prime Minister Theresa May told us what Brexit actually means. Brexit means Brexit.
Brexit means Brexit, and we're going to make a success of it.
The first time I heard that, I thought she said Brexit means breakfast. I said to myself, I know what breakfast is, and since I don't usually eat breakfast, maybe I don't need to swallow Brexit either. But I was wrong, because it turned out that at that point Brexit didn't mean anything at all. However, since the 2017 general election, which Mrs. May decided to hold and then lost, she has had a lot in common with breakfast, because after losing that election, many people said she was toast. Anyway, 2.5 years later, after that referendum, and with a fistful of resignations along the way, the country's still dazed and confused about the UK's upcoming exit. May's proposed 585-page Brexit deal didn't help much.
And I can say to the House with absolute certainty that there is not a better deal available.
And a talk of a smooth and orderly divorce made people laugh. Most divorces are neither smooth nor orderly, nor strong and stable for that matter. In fact, so far, the hungry Brexit monster has basically consumed 2 prime ministers and over 2 years of parliamentary time. Brexit had them all for breakfast. Here's the problem, and it's a big problem. The reason the United Kingdom is finding it so hard to leave Europe is because, well, it's in Europe, physically. There's no way to move the UK from where it is to, say, the Persian Gulf, the Pacific, or the Moon. Meanwhile, the general public can continue to ask if Brexit really does mean breakfast, whether croissants will be banned, and if after everyone else has had a go at being Prime Minister, the country really will end up being run by an actual piece of toast. America loves sanctions. Now they're busy threatening the second biggest economy in the world with them. And I'm talking about China. Nice work, Donald. It means that the country with more human beings than the United States, 5 times more in fact, is going to have to look elsewhere for its oil. Does that make China happy? Probably not. Lots of countries have been threatened by Washington and told not to do deals with those sneaky Chinese. But it won't frighten a country with 1.6 billion citizens and a big army. And if they can't get oil from one country, they'll just find a different source. One oil option is another country suffering the adolescent rage of America, Iran. Thanks to America's strange obsession with Beijing and Tehran, Trump's tantrums have got those 2 nations talking to each other and making friends, big time. Bloomberg reckons China could regularly buy up to 360,000 barrels per day of Iranian crude oil. How much is a barrel? Well, it's this much. That's about 160 litres, which is, well, it's a lot. US officials kept saying they wanted sanctions that reduced Iran's oil exports to 0. However, that's just silly. Iran says the US can never stop Tehran from selling crude oil to international clients. It's kind of funny if you think about it. Because Trump hates China and Iran so much, he's brought them together, and they might well have a nice growing economic relationship. India, one of Iran's top Asian customers, is also going to carry on buying hundreds of thousands of tons of Iranian oil. If you add all that up, it means that Iran now has access to markets covering almost half of the human population of Earth. All Trump seems to have achieved is to prove he can truly bring other countries together, according to the age-old reality that my enemy's enemy is my friend. While Iran wants to export oil, the nation also wants to import tourists. Tehran has begun to give out electronic visas for foreign visitors, another result of America's efforts to isolate Iran. So, once again, trying to intimidate Tehran has led to it working even harder to open its doors to the world. The new visas could play a leading role in attracting more foreign tourists. According to the head of Foreign Ministry's Visa and Passport Department, Mujtaba Karimi, the visas would be issued without any entry or exit stamp on them. I'm guessing that's to make sure the paranoid Americans won't be able to stop people entering the USA after being in Iran. Moody Washington announced travelers visiting certain countries, including Iran, would face restrictions on entering the US. That's the behavior of a 15-year-old. If you go round to their house, you can't be my friend anymore. Come on, America, grow up. I mean, you've done some good things, but apart from McDonald's, Coca-Cola, and possibly Elvis, there's not much to celebrate right now. Oh, and remember, President Donald already said he doesn't want any Muslims in the United States in case they affect the crime figures. Now that's odd. Iran had fewer than 2,000 murders in 2016, compared to 17,250 in America. The murder rate, that's the number killed per 100,000, is more than twice as high in America than Iran. So if the USA were flooded by Iranian Muslims, there's a good chance the murder rate would go down instead of up. Maybe this is one reason that tourism to Iran has increased by at least 50%. Next time you're planning a holiday, play it safe. Avoid America and try Tehran instead. At least they'll let you in. And as usual, I'll make some predictions about what could happen in the weeks ahead. Firstly, instead of coming to a happy conclusion, Brexit negotiations will go on and on and on and on and on, till the next ice age makes the whole of Europe uninhabitable and forces everyone to move south. Iran, China and India will carry on trading oil, while Donald Trump continues to accidentally make some of the biggest countries in the world work together because he told them not to. And I predict Iran becomes more popular than America as a tourist destination because the people are friendly, the president doesn't hate Muslims, and you're less likely to get shot. That's it for this week. Thanks for watching, and join me next time for Press Release, the show that takes the political fiction out of the political friction. Hold the front page, but don't trust it. Trust me.